Alright guys, we are back for another Dokkan battle video. Today we're going to look at this character right here, this free-to-play Goten, Trunks, and Marin. Now, I don't anticipate this character is going to be anything impressive whatsoever. Does seem like a very wonky free-to-play character. I think the way you want to look at this unit, though, alright, so we have a couple of sort of like weaker category teams around. Their teams here are Universal Survival Saga, Join Forces, Youth, Defenders of Justice, Bond of Friendship, Bond of Parent and Child, Earthbred Fighters, and then Superheroes. So some of these teams are very small, niche, or weak category teams. So I think that this Goten, Trunks, and Marin, they could be useful maybe in like a burst mode or something like that. I think is probably the way you want to look at this character, right? And how they could actually be valuable. I'm going to go ahead and give him a sticker. I have a huge amount of stickers at this point, 37. They're a new unit. We might as well give them one. Let's hop into like an infinite Dragon Ball history stage or something like that. They are on the path to power Kid Goku's 200% leader skill, so perhaps, you know, Kid Goku could help them look a little bit better than they are. We'll see. Let's go ahead and jump in and see what Goten, Trunks, and Marin are all about here. Alright guys, so we are here in an event. Let's go ahead and see how Goten and Trunks and Marin are going to perform here. One of the first things we could look at is their link set. This is going to be a little bit of an issue here. The Innocence, More Than Meets the Eye, Budding Warrior, Patrol, Prodigies, Hero of Justice, and Shattering the Limit. So, we do sort of have like a very weird array of links, I would say. That they are rocking here, which is a bit of an issue. I'm going to have Kid Goku not super attack right here. I don't want Kid Goku going too crazy and stealing the show here. Okay, so I believe Goten, Trunks, and Marin, let's see. So one thing we do want to keep in mind with them, I don't know why they kept this here. I mean, I believe this was way worse before they EZA'd. Before they EZA'd, they lost 5% attack and defense with every turn that passed up to 50%. That probably would have started... Like, it would be like Golden Frieza's intro, where it starts the turn they show up, and then every turn, even turns they're not on, it's debuffing, is what I imagine that was before. Now, it's minus 5% attack and defense with each turn passed. It's probably the same. I think it probably activates, like, LR Golden Frieza. I guess I don't know for sure, but I would assume from the second they first show up, now they're going to be debuffing every turn, even turns they're not on, but it's only up to 20%, so it's after 4 turns. They get a high chance to dodge starting from the 5th turn. That's comedy. They get 50% attack and defense when Ki is 9 or more. Additional super if there's another youth category ally in the same turn. They are pretty base. They're very basic and win 70% attack and defense. Okay. They super attack. What key do they super attack at? Let's see. So they're supering at 9 key. They get a super attack. That, I mean, for this character, I think this is probably a downside, actually. Because I don't think this unit's going to struggle for Ki, and this just means that their additional supers are going to be at 9 Ki instead of 12 Ki, which means they're actually going to be a little bit weaker. This can be really good, I think, for a character that would really struggle for Ki, but, I mean, we're probably going to be using this character in some sort of youth setup. I don't think they would be struggling for Ki in that situation, right? Alright, let's go ahead and see what we get here. Now, keep in mind, they have 2 different super attacks. I guess similar to maybe like in Dokkan Fest Buhan. We haven't seen them do that format too often. So their normal 12-key super attack effect gives them 50% attack and defense, and then allies get 30% attack for 1 turn. Then it's a 50% chance that Marin will show up. 3.96. There is Marin. So this is probably the stronger one right here. Okay. So the stronger one, let's see. Okay, we get an additional. And there is Marin again. Okay, it's been a while since I've used this character to know, like, if we're just getting super lucky. Then we got the hidden potential system additional right there. So the Marin version greatly raises attack and defense for 1 turn. They do supreme damage to the enemy with more power, is all it says. And then raises allies' attack by 30% for 1 turn. So, the more power raises SA multiplier by 20% during the super attack. Okay. I don't know. They definitely don't really seem that useful. Because it's like, their stats seem pretty low. I guess we did get 2 super attacks, which meant we got 50% defense twice. This character, once their 50% chance to dodge procs, sure, right? Like, at that point, we've got the 50% chance to dodge. That is incredibly valuable, dodge like that. So, like, I could see us using this character, you know, again, in, like, a burst mode or something like that. I think it is important to sort of set expectations correctly with free-to-play characters and stuff like that. Like, Casserole, remember, was super busted, but he's limited to the universe, or to Universe 11 category team, right? Okay, so we're at 145k here. Again, remember, we are slowly being debuffed. As these turns go on, like, they are slowly losing a little bit of attack and defense, so we'll see if we kind of, like, would max out on one of these early turns here. They get up to 3.8. There's Marin again. Again, I'm not really too sure if we've just gotten mega lucky every single time. Let's just sort of keep going. Yeah, it's once the 50% procs, that's, I think, when we're sort of in business. The 50% chance to dodge, once that procs, once we're, you know, past turn from the 5th turn. So on this next turn, they're going to have a 50% chance to dodge. And again, that I think is where they can kind of be helpful in burst mode content, or perhaps, I mean, I was going to say Super Battle Road, but it's like, you're not getting to turn 5 in like a Super Battle Road setting. So even for, like, you know, maybe like Defender of Justice Super Battle Road, right? Or I don't know, Youth Super Battle Road, I guess. I don't know that they would really be too crazy, because, like, we're not getting to that 5th turn, even in those stages. So I would probably say maybe like a burst mode. Burst modes, so far, they have been really rather fun. As the burst modes have been placed on these Dokkan events, I think they actually are pretty good. You know, so we'll sort of see how that's going to work. All right, so on this rotation, again, we just have Innocence and Shattering the Limit. I think this is going to be a common thing, is a lot of these links of theirs we're probably not going to have, you know, activated too often. We do have a lot of support here, but the thing is most of this team, the only unit on this team that's probably not really red zone viable is EGL Trunks. But, I mean, EGL Trunks, he could be okay. I mean, if he's got a Goten around, then he gets a 50% chance to dodge, right? Okay, so, sure. Let's see what Goten, Trunks, and Marin do on this rotation. I almost feel like we're kind of good, right? Like, we've seen what they can offer. I guess there's not really too much for us to look at here, right? Like, we can get the guaranteed additionals with them. Which, you know, certainly can be pretty good by having a youth category ally in the same turn. Like, that is nice. Guaranteed double super nice dodge. A super attack. I love that. Good. And it's like, you know, once we get to turn 5, again, they have the dodge. Yeah, okay, so this one is without Marin. So a lot of the previous attacks we were getting before were with Marin. It does seem, you know, it says 50% chance. I mean, it seems like we have gotten her pretty frequently, though. Yeah, I guess maybe we'll just get, like, one more rotation in. But kind of, like, you know, just with Kid Goku, we're getting, like, a lot of, like, 3 million attack stats and stuff like that. Again, sort of like my final assessment, I would say here, is that you want to utilize this, I think, probably as, like, a burst mode character. Like, that's where this unit would be sort of valuable. I mean, maybe for, like, a newer player, right, for, like, Battlefield or something like that, they could be good. You know, because, like, if I guess, yeah, like that, a newer player or burst mode or something like that. Because the thing about this character is that they're very easy to grind, and they have their own orbs, right? Like, this is one of the free 100% characters. So that, again, they could be valuable for a newer player, but I don't think longtime players are going to get value from this character, again, outside of, like, a youth burst mode or something like that. Because they do, you know, remember, in these burst modes, you are getting rather specific, right? Like, it's like, okay, like, we're using youth physical type characters for this burst mode or something like that. So, you know, any of these categories getting any type of recent buffs can be helpful. All we have active here is Innocence. We'll make this the last turn. They're at 144. Again, remember, all they get when they super is it's just their super attack effect. I feel like they should have stacked. I think if they stacked, they would actually be really good in long content, because then it's like you get the dodge at turn 5, and then they also are stacking the whole time. Again, I think that they could actually be pretty effective at that point. That was our 50% chance to dodge. 3.16 right there. Yeah, we're kind of seeing the numbers that this Goten, Trunks, and Marin are doing. So, yeah, let me know what you guys think of this character right here. I mean, certainly they're not super crazy, but again, we never know. They are doing burst mode very often, right? Burst mode is a very common thing. Now, I guess they triple supered right there. So they do give allies 30% attack for one turn with every super attack. So we got 30% attack buffs for the whole rotation. So like them triple supering like that, remember, would give Kid Goku a little bit of an attack buff. If I would change this character to make them a little bit more viable, I think one of two things. Allow them to stack or give them support. I think those are the two things that could have been done that would have made this character better. Give them stacking or give them support, right? Like if they gave... I mean, you could just tie it straight to the youth category. If they gave youth category allies 2 key 30% attack and defense, I think that would be solid enough, right? And then just let them, you know, like they could greatly raise attack for one turn and then, you know, stack defense by 30%. Boom, instead. Like you could even just put the stacks on the super attack with Marin. I think just a little change like that would have made them just a little bit more viable, which would have been good. But I mean, I don't know. I don't hate this character so much, but I'm seeing that pretty much their only use is burst mode, I think. All right, guys. So this is mission complete. Trunks Kid, Goten Kid, and Marin. Their leader skill is Bond of Friendship, category key 3 and 77% of stats, or physical type key 3 and 50% of stats. So their super attacks, again, it's basically one super attack. It's like Dokkan Fest Buhan, where, you know, the normal super attack is Ranger's Little Helpers, which greatly raises attack and defense for one turn, supreme damage to the enemy, and then gives allies a 30% attack buff for one turn. I mean, it is a strong super attack effect for a free-to-play character, make no doubt about that. When you have their dodge up, you could probably put them in slot 1, and then that little support buff can kick in. But, you know, we are talking like, getting to turn 5 with this character, you know, is not going to be the easiest. You know, I do want to point that out. So then, their normal super attack, right, is just Ranger's Little Helpers. Then they have a 50% chance that you'll get Ranger's Little Helpers with Marin, which we did see several times. And there, you get 50% attack and defense for one turn, supreme damage to the enemy with more power, and then raise allies attack by 30% for one turn. I do think that maybe they could have stacked when Marin showed up. I think that would have been fair. That would have helped them out quite a bit. It's not like they would have been stacking 200k defense per turn or anything like that. But, you know, in one of these like longer burst modes or something like that, I think it would have made them a fairly effective character. Again, that's kind of where I'm thinking about them being used is burst mode. Their passive skill, Android 17's Trust. They get 170% attack and defense at the start of turn. They lose 5% attack and defense with each turn passed, up to 20% lost attack and defense. They get a high chance to dodge enemy attacks starting from the 5th turn. Then they get an additional 50% attack and defense when key is 9 or above. And then they get a guaranteed additional super if there's another youth category ally in the same turn. That's pretty good. Guaranteed additional super of the youth category ally, that's definitely a W there. Their links are the Innocence, More Than Meets the Eye, Budding Warrior, Patrol, Prodigies, Hero of Justice, and Shattering the Limit. 12 key multipliers, 130%. Pretty low, I feel. But, I mean, this is a character. I mean, they came out. This is from the Worldwide Download Celebration back in 2018. This character came out, right? And then finally, they do have a number of categories here. So they, of course, are on the Universal Survival Saga. That's one of their categories, right? Then they're also over here on the Join Forces team. You know, Join Forces is starting to get so big now. Just so many characters, right? They're also over here on the youth category team. This is where they could be helpful, like a physical youth category burst mode run or something like that. Certainly they could be good there. They're also over here on the Defenders of Justice category, another helpful team that could use anything it could get, really. They're also over here on the Bond of Friendship category team as well. Then right here, they are on the Bond of Parent and Child category team. And then we also have them on the Earthbred Fighters, the Dokkan Fest Yamcha-led team. And then finally, they are on the Superheroes category, which this is definitely a team, any help this team. This is another one. Any help that this team can get, I think I am very pleased with. This team certainly does need help. So there we go. There is the EZA, Goten, Trunks, and Marin. Let me know what you guys thought of this unit. I mean, I don't really see them being super effective in content. Maybe, again, like a burst mode, but that's pretty much the only place I could really identify them helping. Or maybe for a newer player, I feel like they're rather easy to grind up to Rainbow with their own orbs, and then to EZA them is not going to be tough. So maybe they could help new players. Let me know what y'all think, and I'll catch you guys next time.